3, 2, 1, stand by, AVO.
This doesn't work, we gotta screw.
We'll make it work. Try bypassing the mainframes. I'll push the message through the time loop. Come on, baby.
They're gonna see us.
We got it. Hello. Hello. This is an emergency. There's no time to explain.
On July 18, 2016, a SpaceX Falcon 9 launched from Cape Canaveral Air Force Station, Florida. Approximately 2 minutes and 38 seconds into flight, the first stage is shut down, main engine cut off, or MECO. At this point, Falcon 9 is 80 kilometers, 50 miles, high, traveling at 10 times the speed of sound. 3 seconds after MECO, and now allegedly, traveling at 10 times the speed of sound, as the first and second stages will separate.
Are you having a laugh?
However, launch data appears to indicate only Mach 5.39. Well short of 12,000 kilometers per hour, or Mach 10. What is the highest Mach speed ever recorded? The X-15, official world record, by a manned-powered aircraft, was set on October 1967, when William J. Knight flew at Mach 6.7, or 7,200 kilometers per hour, and a height of 31 kilometers. So, what are we to make of this image, and its approximate 9 minutes of time lapsed? First of all, let us assume, as indicated by this streak which appears to make the only straight line in the image, and no vertical takeoff and landing craft, being so elongated and thus easily tipped off balance, would ever attempt this as a credible maneuver. Next, let us correct the image, so that it aligns with what our senses perceive to be logical, if any of this is to be believed at all. Okay, you are free to believe, this curve here, goes to space, excuse me, but I am laughing, so, please allow me to pretend, that some of that questionable trajectory started off, at least on, somewhat, of a straightish, looking path, and yes, I am laughing again. The exposure was captured from, Jetty Park, shown here in relation to, Launching Complex, 40, and Landing Area, Zone 1. The Jetty Park viewing platform is approximately 9.8 kilometers from Zone 1, and 17 kilometers from Complex 40. The launch and landing sites are just over 9 kilometers apart. The article says, due to perspective, the returning module appears to burn above the arc, meaning it is actually closer to the observer, and in the foreground, in front of the original launch window. Correct, it does appear higher by perspective, due to the cloud layer, we know is equidistant in height to the ground, and the lit up portions indicate these similar altitudes between these 2 points in perspective. But how is this possible, when stage separation occurred after a further 3 seconds, and traveling at Mach 10, places it at least 10 kilometers further away? In other words, where is the expected, substantial return distance trace burn, from here to here? Just imagine, pulling up all that inertia, from Mach 10, with just a nitrogen thruster, yeah. Right. Are we to believe, these small white traces are visible, through the cloud layer? Yet, a fiery backburn streak, is not? Okay? So you're having a laugh now. Here we see the same launch from another angle. The photographer claims the following. I shot from the beach in Coco Beach, which was somewhere around 20 miles south of the launch pad. This photograph was taken with a Nikon D7100 and Tokina 11 to 20 mm lens. It's a composite of 3 separate images. One image contains the initial launch burn, one contains the boost back burn, and the final image contains the re-entry and landing burns. Taking 3 separate images makes the final image cleaner, there's less noise. Okay. And here's where we consider the narrative versus perspective. A picture is certainly worth 1,000 words. May I remind you, All dashboard telemetry data is CGI. These figures appear to be off by at least 50%. Is this an ass take? And no, I am not laughing. A SpaceX diagram shows MECO, and start of re-entry burn, appear to occur at the same altitude, but, how does that, then fit, with the photograph image? Here is that same red line, now projected onto the photograph image. What the diagram fails to show, is this gray line actually continues below the red line, in other words the parabolic curve we can observe by looking closely at the photograph image, is not shown in the diagram. And, by projecting a second red line, horizontal to the camera frame of reference, crossing through, the same level as re-entry, we can now observe two axes of the projected level plane. Thus, if the diagram is correct, this line would logically continue, equidistant to the Earth's surface, in direction indicated. This will be the one occasion, Rocketeers, will argue in favor of, perspective. And yes, I am laughing. I'm sorry, but there's just no way, the vertex of a parabolic trajectory, represents Earth curve or rotation, or any spacecraft alleged to be at over 80 kilometers high and traveling at Mach 10. For one simple reason, the cloud cover does not support the narrative. So, look at the position of the photographers to the predicted heading of the vehicle, moving eastward. Does this look like the trace of a vehicle, alleged to be gaining altitude and distance exponentially? On the contrary, the vertex of this trajectory appears, more like a falling projectile, having expired and coasted a short distance beyond the burn. The burn, they tell us, took place at 80 kilometers high. Has NASA cleverly used engine shutdown, correction, cut off, causing you to believe the scripted restart, or apparent fizzling out, and coast over the top, a final apogee? Who actually believes these white trace puffs are really distant, orange flames, just disappearing over a parabolic, tiny weeny, egg-shaped Earth? Only possible, in their false perspective. So, take your pick. It is not unreasonable to encounter high cloud cover between 12 to 21 kilometers, and, please note, NASA's own cloud chart tops out at 18 kilometers. Yeah, no wonder rocket fakers prefer clear skies for launching their apparent perspective deception. Oh, wow. Okay. Let's pretend there is 80 kilometers between these two puffs of smoke.
Are you having a laugh? Is she having a laugh?
3, 2, 1, stand by.